Welcome again to SCLC Today. We're so happy to be with you and to let you know that SCLC Today program has really been getting a lot of good feedback. And I want you to know I'm humbly appreciative. Thank you for all your comments and all of your reviews in terms of factual information, getting the information that you normally wouldn't get. Speaking of information, many of you have already been enlightened of the fact the last couple of days we have lost a good friend and none other than and a great leader and a great person, not to mention the craft of entertainment, that none other than Mr. Harry Belafonte, who made his transition just a day or two ago. And I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to be around him, to serve on several panel discussions with none other than a great leader in his own right, who was very close to Dr. King, none other than Mr. Harry Belafonte. Day-o, is that day-o, man, do I remember that, growing up in elementary school and middle school as well. And throughout my adult lifetime, Harry Belafonte was a household name and will be for many of years. I just want the spirit of Harry Belafonte to be with us and stick around with us. He was one who was very secure who he was and what he stood for. I can say that because I've been around him. I've communicated with him. I remember him giving me encouragement right after I became president of SCLC and many other programs that I had the opportunity to just sit next to him and converse. So we must understand that when Dr. King said to Harry Belafonte, he said, Harry, and you've heard me say this, ladies and gentlemen, many of times, Dr. King conveyed to Harry Belafonte of his not understanding that when he brought about and led the charge with many others, Dr. King wasn't the only one. There were many people who worked with him, even though there were many people who opposed him and objected to him bringing about direct action and nonviolence to get the justice and equality that we all deserve. But this was a very impactful statement when he told Harry Belafonte, I think I have integrated my people into a burning house. He said, I'm sorry, Harry, I think I have integrated my people into a burning house. And many people don't understand what he was talking about. He was talking about the fact that integrating and bringing about the 1965 Voter Rights Act was monumental, was great in its own right. But he forgot about the economics. That's what he was saying. I forgot about the economics. And Harry said, well, if we're in a burning house, Martin, what are we to do? And Dr. King said, we must be the firemen. We must put out the fire. We have to put out the fire. And I'm saying that because in my perception of none other than a great leader and a great entertainer, singer, actor, Carmen Jones. Don't forget Carmen Jones. That was the first movie that I saw being in elementary school and perhaps the 7th grade, that I was so motivated to see Dorothy Dandridge and Harry Belafonte doing such a superb job of African Americans, Negroes at that time, that I was so amazed that this particular entertainment quadrant that they were in would change the entertainment field. That's what they did. They changed the entertainment field in terms of more opportunities for African Americans. And I remember what Dr. King said when Harry asked the question, what must we do if you integrated us into a burning house? He said, we must be the firemen. We must put the fire out. And I said all that to say this. I think Harry Belafonte, for the rest of his life, was trying to put out the fire. That's what's so important about his legacy. And this program really should be all about Harry Belafonte. And he was highly criticized late in his life. Venezuela, Chavez, Hugo Chavez, controlling the oil. And Harry Belafonte had a relationship with the president himself, Hugo Chavez, in terms of negotiating for some oil deals for America. So low income and disenfranchised and people who are living from day to day and those who barely can own an automobile could put gas in their cars. And he was heavily criticized for that because this country looked down upon none other than Hugo Chavez, who was the president of Venezuela. I've been in Venezuela. I know how impoverished it was and is. But I do know from the goodness of Harry Belafonte's heart that he was trying to make a difference and bring about a reduction in the cost of fuel oil in terms of disenfranchised and poor people. That's what he stood for. But he was highly criticized. And I just want to say, Dr. King himself, in during the critical moment that Harry Belafonte went through in that criticism, said, we must learn to live together or perish as fools. That was quoted and unquoted by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Other words, he was saying, in essence, we got to live with everybody in this world and bring about a concern. But many times when America and people who are rich have the relationships with people like Hugo Chavez and others around the world in their richness, they don't want no African American or people of ethnicity who are not involved like they are, not part of the rich community. These are rich folks who want to manipulate and monopolize those relationships, not a man or a person of color who've been disenfranchised like Harry Belafonte. That's why he was criticized. So I just want to take my hat off to him. He helped Dr. King in many ways, other than just being an entertainer. He brought about the resources of finances to SCLC and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He didn't just talk. He provided those mechanisms of support. You cannot run no organization without resources. And that's the role, as well as physically giving it all up in terms of margin and demonstrating. It's the legacy, the impact, the impetus of the life of none other than Mr. Harry Belafonte. And I'm going to close with that. And the quote again from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We must learn to live together or we will perish as fools. Because love is what love does. And that's the stimulus. Have a great day.